103.9.
Roxy and Mark with MKTO, 24 past 4. Incident happened on the weekend. There were a couple of incidences, actually. One in particular was where a 13-year-old football fan yelled out something to Adam's goods on the footy field as he ran past, and Adam took offence to it, came back, pointed her out. She was evicted from the ground and has since obviously unreservedly apologised for any offence caused. But it does opened it up to conversation, I guess, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I think there was certainly a conversation around racism, which I think has been really well documented across the weekend.
Yeah.
But I think there are some other conversations that this has opened up as well, and it is around, I think, Adam Goods and how he felt when he was confronted with what he was on the weekend.
Exactly, and we thought we'd catch up with an ambassador for Angels Goal. His name is John Caldwell. John, thanks for your time this afternoon.
Thanks for having me on the program.
It's a pleasure. Now, just a quick rundown on your background and why this incident in particular has struck a chord with you. Can you give us just a rundown on, I guess, your upbringing?
Sure, yeah. I had quite a bad upbringing, I guess. My family were poor, obviously, as a lot of families are, but I think my parents weren't really structured parents, and so they'd spent a lot of time at the pub, and there was a lot of violence. And so I wrote about that in a recent book I've written called Full Throttle, which just addresses the different types of upbringing. But more painful for me than that was probably my schooling. And I was victimised a lot at school and bullied for that. So writing of the book was a way of me getting a message out to young people to say no matter how bad it is or how dark it is, it really does get better. And that what you're going through at school now isn't the rest of your life, it's just the start of your life.
And it's really interesting, I think, that what you've thought, John, when you looked at Adam's response to the abusive comments, it really, for you, says a lot more about something that was affected in Adam from many years of bullying.
Yeah, Adam said it himself in the media release that he did. He used words of shattering, and that it was high school that took him back to days of being bullied in high school. And I think that's what I took from the whole thing. That was glaringly obvious, was that perhaps it was more about overall bullying and a time, in his own words, he said back at school when he wasn't strong enough or confident enough to stand up for himself. I just read recently that the girl's family have come out and said she didn't even realise that what she was saying was racist. She didn't intend it. Now, she obviously intended to be cruel without meaning to, but she didn't realise she was being racist. So for me, it really just highlighted that no matter how successful you are or how confident you become, those scars from childhood, they never leave you.
So is this about education, John?
Absolutely about education, and the reason I joined Angels Goal as an ambassador is that's their number one thing. It's about education and information. They're not trying necessarily to dictate policy or to lobby government. They're there to give information to people and to highlight how serious a situation this is.
And there's also some alarming statistics where 49% of kids who have been bullied in some degree, shape or form actually consider suicide.
But it's actually 49% of all children surveyed. So 49% of all people under 25 at some point have considered suicide. And they say that at least 40% of those children were bullied at school. So it's such an epidemic, and I don't think it gets enough airplay as it really should.
And I think that one...
Miss it as kids being kids, or that's just what happens in the schoolyard. But when, I say to parents who have two children, one of your children is considered killing themselves. That's the statistic. So I think when you can hit them with figures like that, they need to realise that it's not just kids being kids. I just saw a story come out of Texas today, and it was a 12-year-old boy who was bullied for being a cheerleader has just taken his own life. So when someone at the age of 12 thinks that there's nothing left to live for because this bullying is so painful, those stories, people have to start to listen and stand up to that and make changes.
So, John, what do you suggest?
What do I suggest?
What do you suggest the kids can do, mums and dads can do? What can we do?
Yeah, the biggest thing is listen to your children, and I think, and probably to the children out there, most of the people I speak to said, I tried to tell my parents. You need to try again and again and again until somebody listens to you. And parents, taking radical action isn't the answer. Going down and confronting the kids in the schoolyard isn't the answer. Talking to the school, helping the school with their bullying programs, certainly visit angelsgold.org, our website. There's some great information and tips on there. But the biggest thing I think we can do is what you guys are doing, Mark and Roxy, and it's letting people like me get the message out there, talk to people and tell them that it's not cool. And we've got some great ambassadors joining our charity. We've got the likes of Charlotte Dawson, Jeff Fenny. We're trying to show that it's actually really cool to be anti-bully. It's not cool to be a bully.
That's fantastic, a great message. And just finally, for the 13-year-old girl, it's great to know that her family are around her and supporting her.
Yeah,
Adam's Goods has been very supportive of her as well. And I think that if she can learn from this, and that's a wonderful thing, but she probably needs some support also.
John Caldwell is ambassador for angels.org.au. That's the website, and also gone from a victim to a highly successful international businessman and
Yes.
and author as well. So, you know.
Good on you, John.
Yeah. Nice work. John, thanks for your time. Thanks for your great work you're doing.
Bye-bye.
It's 4:30 on the catch-up here at Bay.